What's Gucci, my Halo fam, and welcome back to everyone's favorite source of Halo content. If I seem a little extra excited today, I will give you one guess as to the reason why. Who has two thumbs and was invited to the Halo Reach MCC flight test? And while you may dispute whether or not I have two thumbs after watching some of my gameplay, I can confirm that I was finally invited to test out Halo Reach MCC on Xbox Friday afternoon. After watching countless videos and streams of Halo Reach MLG settings, I was more excited than ever to give Reach a second go around in the ongoing flight tests. Unfortunately, I was forced to hop into Ranked Invasion, where my teammates were seemingly playing with Guitar Hero controllers, and where I was forced to continuously bum rush an objective with a plasma repeater as I get cross-mapped by a DMR. Give me no bloom, no sprint, or give me death. Seriously, after playing the Invasion playlist, I told myself I would not get back on this flight test until the MLG settings were live again. For those of you high on nostalgia and excited to relive your childhood through Halo Reach, then you are in luck, because the half-second delay in hit detection will truly have you feeling like you're gaming in 2010 again. Honestly, the time between hitting your bullets and the shots registering in-game is insane, and will very likely result in you firing an unnecessary extra shot or two. I am not sure if this has anything to do with this being a pre-release build and won't be an issue in the final game, or if this was always a part of Reach that I just don't remember, but I'm hoping that this will not be the case in the final product upon release. Overall, the hit detection feels crisp and responsive, other than when Bloom seemingly sucks your bullets into a black hole. But there have not been any times where I shoot a player and it feels like the shots are not registering. It feels smooth. And on the topic of being smooth, this game looks and feels great. The upgrade to 60 FPS feels as good as ever, and truly makes this game feel new. The upgraded visuals and increased resolution make me feel like I just exchanged my easy bake oven for a top-of-the-line gaming machine. Regardless of how you feel about Halo Reach, there is no denying that it now looks like a game ready for release in 2019. I think new gamers on Xbox and PC alike will appreciate the work that 343 has put into revamping this game. However, we will have to wait and see how they feel about the gameplay. There are 3 different types of gameplay that will be available in Halo Reach MCC, and have all been playable in the flight tests this far. Original Halo Reach the way it was released, the title update settings of Halo Reach that came out after release, and the no bloom, no sprint MLG settings. I would like to reiterate that vanilla Halo Reach stinks, and there is no changing my mind. These are the settings used in the Invasion game mode, which is probably part of the reason that I hated playing Invasion so much on this pre-release build. The bloom is so excessive, and the lack of bleed-through melees will have you raging like a 12-year-old kid playing Call of Duty. For those of you who don't know, bleed-through melees are referring to melee damage bleeding through shields. In other Halo games, you have to do a certain amount of damage before you can melee someone to kill them. But in vanilla Halo Reach, the only way to get a melee kill is if your opponent's shield is completely popped. If there is a tiny sliver of shield left, your melee will only take off the remaining shield and not do any damage to your opponent's health. The title updated settings were released by 343 Industries once they took over the reins of Halo Reach from Bungie. This included a bunch of fixes that the community seemed to want, such as bleed-through melees and reduced bloom. These changes were widely well received by the community, and I would argue it was the best thing 343 has done for the Halo franchise. TU settings made Halo Reach much more playable in my opinion. I think it accomplishes what the original developers wanted to do with the gameplay, without going overboard and making the game too frustrating to enjoy. Title updated settings will probably be the most widely enjoyed version of Halo Reach. Lastly, we have the No Bloom No Sprint settings. The MLG No Bloom No Sprint settings are exactly what they seem to be. There's no bloom and no sprint. The players actually don't spawn with any of the armor abilities. The armor abilities are strictly map pickups, the same way Overshield or Camo would be. These are the settings that were used in tournament play and are accepted as the most competitive settings. I personally never played No Bloom No Sprint settings, and I am most excited to play this version of Halo Reach. I seem to have missed this playlist in a flight test rotation, so I guess I'll have to wait until the full release before I get to play. Overall, the flight test gameplay feels pretty complete, and I believe this was mostly just a stress test of the servers and such, evidenced by Sketch's post on Halo Waypoint. It seems like Halo Reach MCC is finally almost ready to be released, and I can honestly say that I am excited for it to come out, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Halo Reach. At the end of the day, the Halo community needs something that feels new and fresh, and Halo Reach MCC might be just what we need.